Yeah, man. I don't like using yeah, man, because I feel like Young Philly's got that one.
Yes.
Yeah,
man.
He's got that one.
So what's your one gonna be?
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna come naturally. I
Can't force things.
can't force these.
Honestly,
They just
can't
come.
force humor, and you can't force catchphrases. It's two things you
But
can't
we're
force.
gonna try.
Is that one? We're gonna try. That's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, what are your personal motivations? I mean, think about like, why do you listen to podcasts?
Yes.
And what does it do for you? And
Yes.
then how do you feel being on the on this end of it?
So I think you were the one that actually brought it up, and initially I was like, okay, I've never been quite or thought about being on the other side of things. Like you said, I listen to podcasts, a lot of it, but I've never even thought about being on the other side of it. But the fact that you dared to think about it was I was excited about that. I was like, that's interesting, and you had plenty of ideas kind of bouncing off the walls. So I think you bringing that energy into it as well, and me just being in love with podcasts in general, and thinking, okay, maybe this could actually work.
Yeah.
Having an opportunity and a platform, considering where we come from, our relationship, our background, and things like that, the ability to just bounce off each other and know each other to this depth.
Yeah, and finish each other's
sentences.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There we go. Yeah, that makes sense.
Can't with you, bro. I thought it'd be a great opportunity to also be able to share ideas, share content, have something that maybe people can just listen to.
Why do you listen to podcasts?
Personally, I think there'll be two different types of podcasts I listen to. It's gonna be a bit weird, but like I said, this is for me to share, be open, be vulnerable.
Yeah, be honest. Yeah.
So one of them is just I like different things about psychology, society, health and wellness.
Okay.
So there's
educational.
Educational, particularly.
Yeah, that's.
And others would be, I can't lie, just at night time, I just like to listen to people just talk about random things, whatever it is.
Really?
And
Can you give me an example?
And it helps me fall asleep at night. So people might know about John Gray. Yeah, just very bog standard voice. I just put him on at night. And the last one was about the color of different buildings and how he would walk around with his son, and they would have discussions about that. And he was fascinated by his son's perspectives of the shapes of buildings and what they meant. So just very random, isn't it? But
very random.
At night,
put me to sleep.
But in a nice way, in a nice creative way. So yeah.
And then is that
it's a bit odd, I know. If people want to listen to this to help them fall asleep, it's okay.
However, in that case, what do you aspire to be? Who do you look up to in the podcasting world?
In the podcasting world,
in this area of in this area of interest, like what is it for you?
For me, it's this podcast called Hidden Brain. Okay. Vanden Redangdom. I believe I'm butchering his name, to be honest. I'm so sorry. But Hidden Brain, check him out. The podcast is amazing. They talk about society, they talk about psychology, they talk about human interaction, all these different things. But the way they do it is the person hosting the podcast will bring someone in, and they'll tell us a personal story. And a personal story, they'll unpick that personal story. Yeah. And in it, you'll see aspects of psychology, aspects of sociology in our everyday lives. And that's what I love about it, because it's literally talking about everyday lives. And then he pieces together and you see these, it's kind of educational, but then at the same time so relatable, because it's just people coming in, talking about their story, unpicking it and seeing psychology, the sociological aspect behind it, and all these different things that you can actually apply to you as well. Like, okay, well, I recognize these sort of things in my life as well. I'm just like, okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah. No, that's very fair. I think for me, the motivation was really just, I think there's not enough, certainly online anyway, where people can just have a good time,
Yeah.
where you're not bombarded with information, or you're not, you don't have an opportunity to escape, because everyone's just trying to just throw as much out there, as much. Sometimes it's positive stuff, but there's just so much information.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not create a space like some of the people I like absolutely adore and look up to, and create a space that can also be where you can get away, where you can have fun, where you can laugh, where you can also learn from time to time, but whatever. But you're doing this thing, and I think the last podcast, the reason, or the last thing I watched, which was like, okay, yeah, I'll confirm that I'm doing this, was an episode of Shits and Gigs where they did it with Michael Dapper.
Oh, okay,
Big
interesting.
Shaq.
I haven't actually seen that one.
Right, and by the way, great guy.
episode.
Like, he's so, like, you wouldn't believe what, like, his background and stuff. Like, I think he went to prison at one point and stuff.
Oh,
like
Michael Dapper.
Yeah, Big Shaq.
Wow, that's surprising.
Nice.
This episode, I used to love those ones. The Swill ones, the original OG Swill.
And I looked at it and I thought, and they were talking about this whole mentality that it doesn't really exist in the US, but exists a lot more here, because we're a little bit, maybe because we're a smaller island, smaller population, where what you've got is people think like crabs in a bucket mentality, right? Where they're like, if I'm doing well, no one else can do well. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If you're doing well, no one else is doing well. Like you're doing well, we're taking away. Whereas for me, he was like, no, we have got enough that everyone can eat. Everyone can enjoy themselves. And I just really love that podcast. And it just motivated me to be like, they're starting, it's going. I think I just checked the date. It was the 12th of December at like 1 a.m. I was watching, and I was like, okay, I'm seriously dedicated on getting this moving. For me, I think it's really those people out there like Shits and Gigs, like Michael Dapper, Mo the comedian.
Oh, Mo. Okay. I don't listen to his podcast, but I love his content.
Do you know what I mean? Those people that just like, you're like, I just love what they do. I want to be part of that space, and I feel like I can be part of that space. So let's just, because we live some like weirdly intricate and interesting lives that I'm just like, I'd love to be able to bring people into that circle
and share, right? Exactly.
Share
to connect, and if they can relate,
give them to connect and just grow a community. And man,
I like that. I love that.
That's
so
Chunks
much.
and Philly.
I love that so much. Yeah, for sure. That's
so like, I really enjoy that. So I think that's kind of where I came.
No, that's incredible.
And it's just been fun, and to be here filming episode 4, to be here after just having an idea, and like I said, like I mentioned in the first podcast, where I'm like, you just go with it, and we're just like, let's make it happen.
Go ahead with it. I think
here we are, and
that's a massive one. Being able to say, yes, I want to do it. I'm going to do it. I've never done it really before, but I'm going to take that leap. Yeah, and I think for me, it was like you said, it's one of those things you detach when you're like, it doesn't actually matter what anyone else thinks. We're just going to do it. We're going to have fun. Yeah, exactly.
And
see what happens.
We have had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So so much more to come. So much more to do.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, that's LMNOP.
There you go. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So I think we're going to continue pushing out content that hopefully people can relate to, but is also personal to us. But things that we've shared and we can now share with you.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I remember you were on a holiday from the States. You were here for summer.
Yes.
I believe it was summer 2019.
Okay, yes.
Right, and we were having a chat. We were sat in the garden actually, chilling, talking, and you were talking about the gut microbiome. Yes. It must have been something you recently learned in biology. And at the time, there wasn't much out on it, and I think it was something that was growing. And nowadays, it's huge. But do you remember much about that conversation? Do you remember?
Yes, I think I just did a dissertation about it. So and it was something that you had to pick. So it was just
at the time.
Yeah, so I thought I'm into this. Like, this is so I really wanted to talk about the guts. Yeah. So I wanted to share it with you as well. So I don't remember what you got from it. So
what I got from it was, I found it really interesting as I've gotten to know myself, as I've developed as a human being. Yeah. Understanding what you made me aware that there was a link between our emotions, the brain, like how we function, and the gut. Yeah. And I'd never really thought about it before, but the moment I heard that piece of information, everything clicked. Yes. You know, when sometimes you hear something and your whole paradigm shifts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, whoa, yes. I can see it clearly.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I've understood, for me, it's like on a personal level, whether it's emotional, Certainly when I have things like anxiety in a moment where I'm stressed, I feel that in my gut.
Yeah,
Like crazy.
Yeah,
Like genuinely, like sometimes I can't eat. Sometimes I have what's the word? Like acid reflux, that kind of thing. Like it travels upwards. It's a horrendous feeling. But it's crazy to think that's to do with emotions. The only reason I feel that way is because of emotions, not because of food I've eaten, not because of and how therefore taking care of that gut, whether it's with, I don't know, yogurts, things like that, certain foods, actually makes a huge difference to your mental well-being.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think is crazy.
It's so crazy, but I think so empowering at the same time, because just thinking, okay, even if I do feel not right for whatever reason, it could be because emotional stress or burden for whatever reason, but just by eating the right things, I can have such a change in how I feel in myself. And it's just called that gut brain axis, that your gut talks to your brain and your brain talks to your gut, and they kind of work together to regulate your emotions and things like that.
That's so interesting.
And how you feel.
Do you have a personal relationship, do you think, between your gut, your brain, and is there anything that you've noticed?
That's a good point. I generally feel as though when you eat right and you eat good, and even just for me not eating too late, whatever, so obviously this is hard, it doesn't happen, especially as a uni student, you generally feel like in a better mood. Just how, for instance, sleep. I don't know how much sleep you need, but for me, when I get the right amount of sleep, when it's not too much, not too little, the next day you feel like you just got a little, honestly, you got a little hop in your step. I'm telling you. So I think a big thing for me would be to continue working on that, figuring yourself out. So not just asking yourself those questions of, I don't know, your purpose and all those kind of big questions, but also what works for me, and tweaking those little things bit by bit, and adding and piecing the jigsaw puzzle of yourself on a biological level as well as a spiritual level, I think is important. So I try and do those things as well, like what kind of works well with me with my food, what kind of works well with me with my sleep, because I know usually I get, for me, it's 6.5 hours. That's the golden spot.
Really?
Yeah, I kid you not.
What studies work like
6.5 to 7. 6.5 to 7 for me is a golden spot.
Golden spot.
8 hours is like, that's too much. I can't do 8.
Really?
Yeah, if I do that, then I know I'll be sluggish.
Wow.
So
I'm yet to figure out my golden spot.
Oh, when you do, you just know. Like, you wake up the next day and then you realize that I haven't hit that golden spot. So that's probably why I'm feeling. Everyone's different. So I don't know. It's hard to say, but
but I thought
maybe your gut's trying to tell you something.
For me, I think there's so much is going to come out on it, and we're going to be there's going to be a lot linked to, mental well-being, mental health, that sort of stuff, and things that can help us look after ourselves a little bit better related to the gut.
You've got to watch that space. I think so. There's things that have been studies showing that literally all the chemicals that your brain produces, your gut produces as well. And there's the enteric nervous system, which is the nervous system of your gut, which is separate to the nervous system of your brain. So it's just like the fact that there's even those two separation, and that they have to communicate with one another.
That in itself is a nervous system.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like that communication. So enteric nervous system, and nervous system for the central nervous system, which is from the brain, that they have to communicate to each other because they're kind of separate in a way. Obviously, it's all connected at once, but just the fact there is those two nervous systems, even for me, is very fascinating. And even more interesting is, let's say someone has emotional issues, depression, chronic stress syndrome, whatever, and you take a fecal sample from someone who doesn't suffer with those issues, and then you implant it into that person, then you will see an actual improvement in their mood and psychological and emotional symptoms.
It's just like using fecal matter,
right? Imagine.
So, I don't know if I'd go that far.
You're like, you're in the hospital and you're trying. Nurses coming with the medication. I got your feet.
What did that guy say?
What?
What did that guy say?
See, and everything in moderation.
I think I'm gonna skip on the poo today.
But it's just incredible to think that you literally get the fecal, the poo matter from someone else, put it within yourself, and then you just start feeling better. I don't know.
Yeah,
might be a bit too far.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just,
I'll let you do that.
Fascinating
And tell me how it goes.
Fascinating thought.
But I thought, actually, it's quite funny, interesting. I thought we could segue nicely into a moment of high anxiety and stress for me. About my recent trip for the first time ever that I've been to Ipswich.
Oh, interesting.
Ipswich. I believe it's Ipswich.
Yeah.
I could be so wrong. And that would be annoying.
What isn't interesting about Ipswich? I don't know.
What isn't interesting?
What is an interesting thing? Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well,
I met someone.
I know someone
like
who's
a
from
week
Ipswich.
after that. I said, like, I went there. And they were like, "Oh, I'm from Ipswich," and I was like, and they were like, "Yeah." To be fair, I was like,
I think I was getting Ipswich and Reading confused actually.
However,
so where's Ed Sheeran from? That's for you guys to figure out. Because I think it might be Ipswich. It's either Ipswich or Reading.
Wait, no. I might have gone to that school, you know.
Wait,
no. I might have gone to the school. That might have been the school that Ed Sheeran went to.
So maybe it is Ipswich then.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to fact check that.
Yeah.
Because I remember as we were walking into the school, one of my colleagues was like, "I think this is the alma mater of Ed Sheeran."
What? So you said maybe, but that just sounds quite...
No, because I remember having that experience with someone.
Yeah.
Whether or not you said Ipswich, and I'm like, was it Ipswich?
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we'll let you know.
We work with an education company. Yes. You recently got a job there. Yeah. Which means I recently got a £100 bonus.
That's what we like to hear. I should get some commission.
You should get some money for that. Yeah, I will give you money. And one of the perks of the job is we get to travel around the country to go to different schools, that sort of stuff. I was there, and there was 6 of us working that day, and there was 1 newbie. So usually when I go into work, I have my blue folder with like all my information in it, my DBS, my booklets, that sort of stuff to teach the kids, and help them do well. And so thanks, I appreciate it. And so we did our presentations, did our work, everything went well, and came out, and like I said, we had a newbie with us, and she finished and she wanted to give feedback about how it went, obviously, and everyone was there. We were having like a debrief, having a chat, and we were like, what went well, what didn't go so well, giving feedback, things come, and we were talking for a little while.
To have like that support.
And we were talking for a while, and what happened at that point, once we were out in the car park having our debrief, was that I had put my blue folder. I said, like, I usually bring in my blue folder, but for some reason this time around, I brought my blue folder with my laptop. Okay. And what had happened was I put my blue folder on the top of the car, back left corner, back right corner of the car. I did that and even got it wrong. Back right corner of the car, and carried on talking. And we even took a photo to upload on our work Slack, and everyone carried on talking. And then at that point we were meant to split up, and said UB needed dropping off at the train station. The other guys were going in a different direction. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll drop you off. It's only like 10 minutes out of my way. Or was it? No, it was 15 minutes out of my way. And I thought, cool, no worries, I'll drop them off. At this point, everyone said bye. We'll be like, see you next time. And as I was going into my car, one of my lovely co-workers gave me a croissant. And I was like, oh, beautiful, a croissant.
That sounds nice. That sounds so good.
So I had a croissant, and it was like, like it was top tier. And so me being me, food, that's what I thought about. Got into the car and drove off. We got out of the car park, they drove left, I drove right to go towards the train station. I've just done the same thing again. They drove right, we drove left to go to the car park, and not to go to the car park, to go to the train station. Dropped her off at the train station, and I was heading towards the town of Ipswich, because that's where I needed to go before I headed on the motorway. And I got there, and then I pulled over because I said to myself, I don't remember putting my laptop.
That's a worry.
But I did pull over straight away. I said I didn't remember putting my laptop in the boot or seeing it anywhere near me. And I checked, like as I was driving, I was checking all around. I couldn't find it, so I was like, I need to pull over and check the boot. Went to the boot, nothing was there, and I was like, damn. And at this point, That's where the anxiety, you're like, oh my
Kicks
God.
in.
The gut microbiome.
Yeah.
Oh my days. Bro,
Stress. That's stress.
I was stressed. I called the school.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I've just been there presenting. Oh, yeah, sure. I was like, I think I've dropped my laptop in your car park. And she was like, oh, really? Let me go check. She comes back. She's like, I'm so sorry, I haven't seen anything.
Oh, no,
however, she goes, really lovely lady.
There's always that hope that maybe they'll find it.
Yeah, to be fair. Really lovely lady. She goes, I'm going to check our CCTV to see. And then she calls me back like 15 minutes later. At this point, I'm just like, I've got to drive back to school. At this point, I've decided to drive back from school from the town. So imagine if I was to give you timings, I went from the school to the train station, which was 15 minutes. Train station to town, which was 15 minutes. And then from town to that school was like another 20 to 30 minutes. So it'd have been an hour by the time. So she calls me back 15 minutes later and she's like, I'm so sorry, I've checked the CCTV and I can see you drive out of our car park with the laptop on top.
That's not good.
With the laptop on top, right? And she's like, I've walked down the road, but I haven't seen it. And I was like, oh an
hour's worth of driving.
Now, if you know anything about Ipswich, it's just country roads.
I didn't know that, but okay, now I do.
Right? And so, get back to the school.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've just got to take the same journey I've taken from the school to the train station.
Okay.
Now, when I put that into the sat-nav, it said 15 minutes, which obviously at the time I didn't pay attention to, but it said 7.2 miles.
Okay.
7.2, right?
Okay.
So 7.2 miles, I'm like, damn. And at this point, I was thinking every possible scenario. Because I had seen a tractor as I was driving, so I was like, if we run over by a tractor. I was seeing cars. I was like, surely if it had fallen backwards, it would have hit a car, it would have stopped. Like, they would have stopped. Something there or the other happened. Yeah. So as we're driving and I'm looking around, I'm driving and I'm just like this. I'm driving slowly, I'm looking around. Like, I feel sorry for anyone who's behind me, so I'm driving so slowly trying to figure it out.
What's wrong with this guy?
And I can't see it. And we get to like the first mile, and I'm looking around, and I can't see it. And then as you get to the first mile and a half, you start going into this little town bit. I was like, God forbid it's fallen here. Someone's probably picked it up, taken it. There was loads of little shops, that sort of stuff. I was soaking, like, I was just like, destroyed. When I was like, there's just no chance. And I keep driving because I'm like, no matter what, I have to do the whole journey from the school to the train station. So I keep driving, 2 miles in, nothing. Then we get to that road where I saw the tractor, and obviously as the tractor was driving, it has to go on kind of like 2 roads. Like, it comes across on the road because it's so large, and I'm like, oh, my days. I keep driving, get to 2.5 miles, 3 miles. I'm like, absolutely, like,
nothing.
At this point, I'm like, there is no way that my laptop has stayed on top of the car.
You're still driving, but you don't really have hope. Is that all you think?
At this point, I have no hope. I have no hope. And I get to 3.2, 3.3. I'll never forget this. 3.2, 3.3. And I just do that, and I'm like, what? And then I just pull into the side of the road. As in, like, what I mean by side of the road, we're in country road, so I just pull in on some grass, on something, and I turn the car. If I was some field, I was scared at some point some farmers are going to come across and kick me off. I swear to you, man. And then I walk from my car, I'd say about 30 steps, and then on the side of the road, in like some bushes, I see my laptop, my laptop case, and then my blue folder with all my work in it. And the reason it caught my eye was because my blue folder was reflecting off the sun.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what had happened was I was coming around a bend, and I must have come round to the point where my laptop flew off the front, not even the back. It didn't go backwards. It flew off the front, rolled on the road, and then just stayed on the car.
Behind that, but yeah, okay. Fair.
You tell me. Now, let me see if I can show you.
Here's one we made earlier.
This is the result of said laptop sleeve, which
damage.
As you could, like, I assumed it came off, like, and this is what hit the ground first, then it would have ripped. So like, it was just like, I was like, I don't even know what to make of it. Like, I can't believe I found it 3 miles down the road, and
it was just meant to be. When it's
yeah, and then my laptop is in a hard shell case, and that's cracked on the corner as well. Wow. And yeah, I mean, shout out to whoever made this case, because it definitely saved my laptop. Shout out to the hard case, whatever it was. I just can't believe that happened. I mean, some of the things I get into, I'm just like,
there's just the sheer luck that you. For instance, you could have just been looking at that side,
at that moment,
the right side when you're driving by, and that was it.
Yeah, I thought to myself, I'm never gonna spot it. I'm never gonna spot it. Yeah.
So do you think
in life you have certain numbers, like amount of marks, and that's just one. Like you just ticked. That's one less.
Bro, do you know what it was? It was a return. Because what's really annoying is that, as you remember, 2 years ago. No, in 2 years. We're 2024 now, man. Summer 2019.
It must have been like, what,
when I went to your
5 years
home
ago?
country for the first time ever.
5 years ago.
Went to your home nation of Cameroon.
Sometime.
I was traveling and I had a laptop then, and I lost said laptop on.
Okay. Yeah, this is a funny.
On my transit flight, and
So tragic.
so I almost felt like this was like I only had this
I
new laptop for a few
see.
months, so I felt like it was almost like
Retribution for
yeah,
things.
it felt a little bit, yeah,
Oh
man.
my goodness, that's incredible. A great stroke of luck. I don't think I've ever had anything quite as.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
had
you
one
better
that's
put your
probably
seatbelt on. I've got
life-saving.
many more of those.
I've had one that's quite life-saving, but that's for another episode, guys.
You get the format.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was yeah. My gut was in
Wow,
pieces.
your
I
gut
can't even explain to you the
Yogurt,
relief.
you must have had to eat a bunch of yogurt after that. I can't even.
Bro, the relief.
I'm thinking 1,000 pots of yogurt.
The relief after that. There was nothing like it.
Oh my goodness.
I was just like, I can't believe I found it,
That is
and
incredible.
I'm never gonna let you go again.
Oh wow. I can't think of any better relief, to be honest.
So Ipswich.
Apparently where Ed Sheeran's born, or is from, so look that up.
I promise you, I wonder if it was the school I went to.
I wonder
If it was the school that I went to. Actually, what's great
Yeah.
is I have a picture of me with my co-workers, and you can see my laptop in the background on top of the car.
Yeah.
So I'll be sure to add that in.
I can't believe it survived.
Oh
So
man.
this is a tough laptop.
Yeah, I got home that day, and the laptop was just a dark screen. I should have mentioned that actually. Yeah, that was. But shout out to the insurance.
Shout out to insurance.
Because I just went to Apple and I was like, I need help.
Yeah, fair enough. And they bust you. They helped you out. There you go. Shout out to insurance. So this brings a pertinent question for me. When is it too early to get life insurance?
Wow. What the hell? I don't know.
Yo,
Um,
have you ever thought about it?
I have never thought about it. No. I get random Instagram ads where it's like, "Hey dads, if you're just turning 25, I'm not a dad. I'm not.
Why
I'm
do
not
I
that
just
age."
say,
Like
"Hey,
I was
dad"?
just there like,
I don't know what you've been feeding your algorithms.
"Hey dads, if you're turning 29 this year, make sure." And I'm just there like,
Yeah.
but I guess it's never too
early.
early.
Too early.
Because if you're a dad at 20, why not? Get
Yeah,
life insurance. I really don't have any thoughts.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that you just never think about it until you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
the
so
longer
true.
you wait, just the more you need it,
Mhm,
and the
mhm.
more. But the more.
Maybe
If you
that
could
early on,
insure
yeah.
one part of your body, what part would it be?
One part of my body.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. So that's my feet.
Is it? Why?
Just 'cause I guess as a someone who's into sports, football particularly, would be important for me. And I think can't insure your brain.
I was thinking head brain, but
Maybe you can. I think sure you can. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna let you finish on that tangent because
Yeah,
I have
okay.
no idea.
I don't know
You
where
can
I'm
ask
going with this.
You can ask.
Maybe
other
it's a bit late at night, so my mind wanders. Have you ever had those thoughts at night that you don't really have during the day, or those conversations at night with people?
100%.
Yeah, so I think my mind is just going there. So let me end it there. So what sort of thoughts do you guys have that are a bit like odd during the evening or during at night? Or does that even happen to you? So let me know what you guys think. it's one of those things that I feel as though people open up at night for some reason. Late night pillow talk, as they say.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
yeah, I wonder why. If anyone knows why, just let me know.
Let us know at LMNOP.
Yes.
.we.
There we go. We're in it together.
Do you know why I like that? Because it rhymes. LMNOP.we. Like it's got a ring to it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And it could have a meaning as well behind it.
We, like you said, it's community.
Yeah.
It's
We.
about the people.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
For the people, by the people.
For the people, by the people, yeah. I feel like that's already coined somewhere. So
Yeah.
don't want to get copyrighted.
Yeah. No, let's keep to LMNOP.we.
LMNOP.we. Yeah.
That just rolls off the tongue.
It does, doesn't it? I told you. I felt like I'm such a genius when I came up with it.
Well, okay.